welcome everyone to today's webinar. We're excited to talk to you all about steps to take and tools to use to get you paid without having to file a lien. Now, I know we have a mix of current Level Set customers here, as well as some people who may have just heard the name Level Set for the first time in the last few days. We'll definitely cover the basics of who we are and what we do for those of you that are new, as well as take a deeper dive into our tools that can help you get paid faster. Before moving on, just want to say that we are recording this live session and you'll receive a link to the recording in your email tomorrow. But feel free to share that recording with your team, your supervisor, or just feel free to watch it again to refer back to for any information you may have missed or want to hear again. And if you have any questions at all during the presentation, go ahead and enter that in the chat box, and we will get to those kind of throughout the webinar, but then also block off a few minutes specifically at the end for some additional questions. Just to do some quick introductions, you can see on the screen right there, that's me. My name is Richard Kane, and I am an account manager here at Level Set. And basically my job is to help our customers get the most out of their Level Set account using tools that we're going to talk through today. And again, my job is to get you paid faster. So kind of moving on, if this is your first time at a Level Set webinar, just want to give you a quick overview of who we are and what we do. So we all know that the construction industry presents all sorts of challenges when it comes to getting paid. Well, Level Set is here to help you get paid. Our lien rights management software helps you track mechanics liens, notice deadlines, verify job site information, and basically just makes it easier for you to manage your lien rights paperwork. We also provide access to construction attorneys and other legal services. And we have all sorts of resources, at your disposal from our website, from profiles outlining contractor payment histories to educational guidelines as well. So we have a full suite of products and whatnot and help for you to make sure that your lien rights are protected and that you have all the information that you need. But specifically, we're here today to talk about how to get you paid without having to file a lien in the first place. And there's a few tools that you can utilize within Level Set to make that happen. We've broken this down into 3 steps that when taken, greatly reduce the need to file a lien. That first step in the process is to pre-qualify GCs and other contractors that you intend to work with using Level Set's risk reports. Maybe you've considered working with a new contractor and you have no idea what their payment history is or how many disputes they've been involved in. Well, you can utilize our risk reports to essentially give you a report card on new potential companies you're looking to do business with. On those risk reports, you're going to see things like if they had any payment issues in the last 90 days, what their payment speed is. So that can also show you how many days on average it takes the company in question to pay their subs and who they're working with. I know most of the people probably in here have some type of net 30 or net 60 day payment period. So, like the person on the screen right there, 142 days for their payment speed. Well, that's something you're going to want to take a look at if you're net 30 or net 60 working with them. It also gives you basically just an overall payment risk score, giving you the ability to review a company's payment history quickly and accurately. So it's essentially a construction specific credit report, so you can build relationships with new contractors and feel confident that you're going to get paid in full and on time. Just a quick example I always like to give with this, I have a few customers that use these on a regular basis. One that I was speaking to just a couple of weeks ago, it's really helped them in a variety of ways. One, whenever they're looking to do business with somebody new or maybe out of state, they'll run one of these risk reports on that company. And obviously, if it comes back well, it gives them peace of mind that they're dealing with someone that's honest and pays their people on time. But it's also gone the other direction. It's come back where maybe they don't pay their subs on time. Maybe they've been difficult to work with, and then that's allowed them to maybe skip that job or maybe do a little bit more due diligence or make sure that they're everything is set up for them to make sure that they're going to get paid on time. So that is step 1 in the process. Step 2, depending on what state you're performing work in, there are documents that might need to go out prior to the start of the job. You can automate these documents within Level Set so that you're always protecting your lien rights should you need to enforce them. Generally, that first document to go out is your preliminary notice. Now, these can vary from state to state. Some states refer to them by different names, such as pre-liens or notices of furnishing, but they all do basically the same thing. They announce that you're on the job and that you expect to get paid. You're basically announcing that you're there, and you're going to be getting paid for that work you're doing. After that, simple payment reminder can be delivered. That's something you send out after the job is complete and as a friendly reminder that you're ready to get paid. And then escalating it from there are things like payment demands, which let your contractor know that you are serious about getting paid for the work you've completed. This is where we see most companies get paid if there's a non-payment situation. So if you haven't been paid in your terms, send out that payment reminder. That's that gentle little nudge, and then the payment demand follows there. And that's where we see most people again get paid is with that payment demand letter. So it can be easy to ignore a friendly reminder, but that word demand does seem to get everyone to open up their checkbooks a little bit quicker. One thing we do hear though all the time that from a variety of customers is sometimes they might not want to send out preliminary documents to customers because they've been working with them for years. That's something that I hear on a daily basis. One thing that I'll always say though to those people is almost every single day that I'm talking to a new customer at Level Set, one of the reasons why they came to us in the first place was because they've been working with somebody for 15, 20 years, and that was the job that, they decided not to pay. So we understand this is a relationship industry. Those are very important, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you're protected, and sending out these preliminary notices will make sure that you're keeping your lien rights protected and your company protected. Moving on to step 3, Job Radar Premium. So you've decided to work with a contractor based on information provided in your risk report. You've sent out your proper preliminary notices through the Level Set platform. Well, now we want to make sure that you have the same level of visibility and can address any potential payment issues immediately in real time while you're working on the project. Job Radar Premium is a tool that provides you with valuable alerts that help you monitor the flow of payment on your job. With that, you're going to see things like payment issues or potential payment delays that are happening on your job. Lien alerts letting you know that a lien has been filed on the job. That's a pretty important one. If a company on your project has filed for bankruptcy, again, great information to have at your disposal. And for those of you in some states where notice of completions occur, you'll get those notifications as well. I was speaking with someone just actually yesterday, excuse me, who mentioned that having that notice of completion notification was very helpful because a job they were on, they were getting some of those notice of completion, but they hadn't gotten paid yet. So they were able to contact the GC, see what's going on, and deal with it from there. The information that Job Radar Premium provides will let you know what's happening on your project in real time, so you can take those necessary actions on making sure your payment's secured. If you're like some of our customers, though, that I referenced a few minutes ago, maybe some of you don't always send out your preliminary notices to GCs you've been working with for years. Job Radar is another set of eyes basically for you on that job to make sure you're keeping tabs on it. I like to think of Job Radar Premium as keeping a kind of a bird's eye view on projects you're on, and consider it kind of getting inside intel on your job that's not necessarily available to everyone unless you're a subscriber of Job Radar Premium. Also, again, one of the things that you're going to notice when you click on it as a quick example is, during construction, you'll see new alerts and potential problems and risks that appear in your Level Set account. These will look something like what you're seeing on your screen right there. A $2 million lien might have been filed. Well, that's something you can click on and get more information going for it. Just last week, I was speaking to one of my accounts who was very interested to know if a lien had been filed on their job. They were about to start supplying materials for that project as well. Luckily, there hadn't been any liens, or else they may have looked into options as, getting upfront payments, cash on delivery, maybe switching over to one of those models for that particular project. So luckily, they did not have to do that in that case. But if there were liens, that's something they may have looked to do into to make sure that their payments are protected. Well, you're all here today because filing a lien is a hassle. It requires time, money that you shouldn't have to spend. All these tools, risk reports, preliminary notices, Job Radar Premium, they're here to ensure that you get paid for the work that you performed. They work in conjunction with one another to keep you constantly informed and aware of any potential payment issues or any potential risks so that you can make the best decision possible for you and your company. As a quick reminder, we'll answer any questions that you have at the end. So feel free to, again, throw those in the chat box if you'd like to ask a question there. One thing though that I also wanted to share is that, some feedback and success stories that we hear, so you can really understand how these tools would help you in your day-to-day work. And I'll quickly, as you can see on the screen right there, that's a quote from Michelle White from Wilson Lumber, that this helps me see if anyone else has filed a lien against a customer, or I can see if I might have payment problems with a certain contractor because other people who have worked with that contractor can submit comments on their payment speed. I can also leave reviews myself if I'm having difficulties with a customer to let them know. That feature has really helped with managing financial risk. So that's really what it's kind of all about, y'all. It's risk management, which sometimes can have a little bit of a negative connotation. We want to make sure that we're protected. But one of the cool things about, especially the Job Radar feature, is like if you look at that top notification right there, that it says that someone got paid. So I like to draw people's attention to that as well, because when we're talking about liens, we're talking about risk management, our brains tend to go to the negative. Well, what if this or that happened? But it's also important to acknowledge the positive, and that you can use these tools mentioned here today to also see that the flow of payments are on time, that you're working with good and reputable, honest people that aren't getting liens filed on them all the time or whatnot. And it gives you peace of mind. As I mentioned before, I've worked with numerous customers who utilize these features, and it really kind of helps them sleep a little bit better at night, knowing that they're dealing with good companies that pay their people on time within their terms, and they're not experiencing payment issues that they're going to have to spend a whole lot of time trying to recover funds and whatnot. One thing I also want to share with you, just again, a couple more customer insights, just a few more quotes from customers that use this three-step method to avoid having to file a lien. I think most of y'all have probably heard of Trustpilot before. That's kind of a contractor specific website that you can leave reviews on. One of the things that we're rather proud of here at Level Set is we've got, I believe it's over 3,000 5-star reviews here now. So love seeing those come in. That's a lot of people that are using Level Set and getting value from it. But from one of those reviews, before going into a job, wouldn't you like to know if there are payment problems? For those of us working in credit, knowing this information ahead of time is vital and allows us to make the best decisions. And this is what risk reports do. It helps level the playing field. So again, gives you that inside info to help you make good decisions. Another customer here that's featured on the screen there, Thomas Box, the director of credit at Irby Construction. We now have our preliminary notices going out automatically, and I just let them fly. I was hesitant at first, but it's been very helpful. We're all so busy, there's never any downtime. So to have one less thing to do on our plates is great. So again, that's the customer that's, again, utilizing that lien rights management part that we talked about, our lien rights management software that can help actually automate sending out preliminary notices on your behalf. Once you set it, it's kind of a set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. So it's sending it out there, making sure that you're protected on those jobs. And then finally, Alia Gottkirk, the credit and collections manager for Waste Connections. We always use Job Radar alerts as an opportunity to take a deeper dive into our own accounts receivable. We see this as an early warning system to take a look at potential problems. So again, it's keeping an eye on what's going on in the jobs that you're on, monitoring the flow of payment, just to make sure, again, that you're protected and that you have the information you need to take action if you have to. So kind of moving along here a little bit, let's see. I saw a few questions come in. If you have any others, it's a great time to ask. But yeah, we can move on to a couple questions. Let's see. I've been working with the same company on jobs for the past 3 years, and there have been some slow pay problems. I'm worried that sending preliminary notices, payment reminders will discourage future work together. Has that happened to any other customers, and what was the outcome? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I referenced before. We hear that sentiment a lot. That, maybe you've been working with somebody for 10 years, 15 years, something along those lines. You trust them. But as I mentioned before, those are sometimes the working relationships that can get taken care of. It's great to make sure that you still have those good relationships, and we want to maintain that relationship. But at the same time, you always want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your payment as well. So, in my opinion, I always tell my customers that it's solid communication. As long as you're communicating with people that these are documents that you're going out, and that that you're making sure that you're taking care of your lien rights, that it's just business. Most of the time people understand that. So that's usually the a way to handle that or navigate that conversation, which can be a little tough sometimes. All right, another question here. What can I do with information that's in the risk report? Well, that's a great question. And as I mentioned before, think of a risk report like a construction specific credit report. Think about your own personal life when you are, let's say, going to buy a car, which I don't know if anyone can do that anymore. Cars are getting expensive and gas is getting too crazy. But if you're going to go buy a car or make any big purchase, what's that company going to do on you? They're going to run probably a credit report on you, and they're going to get a snapshot of who you are as a creditor and whatnot, and what type of payment history you have. And then that's going to affect the type of terms they deal with you and interest rates and whatnot. So that's kind of what we do with these risk reports. It's a snapshot of their payment history as a construction company. One thing I do want to highlight specifically is that it is construction specific information. We have a lot of customers that might use other risk or credit reports or whatnot, which again, great information. Not saying there's anything wrong with those, but the level set ones, it is construction specific. So it really just details how good of a partner they are, how quickly they pay, and just a good indicator for, payment reminders and demands and whatnot. All right, let's see what else we have. What type of information does Job Radar show that would matter most to me? Well, I would probably say the one that I hear by far the most are the lien alerts, because that's kind of the one that kind of gets everyone their hair raised a little bit. So they see that those liens are going out on jobs, and then that really makes you make sure that you're set up from your end. So hopefully you've sent out your preliminary notices. I know they're not required in every single state, but they're required in most. And knowing your lien deadlines or your preliminary notice or notice of furnishing deadlines is pretty important, because again, it's different for every state. I know California, you have your 20 days. I think it's Oregon or Washington. I want to say it's like 8 or 9 days, like pretty quick. Like you got to have your ducks in a row pretty fast to make sure that you're protecting your lien rights. So again, seeing those notices come through on Job Radar, like, hey, there's a lien being filed on my job. Well, you might want to check into that, because if you file a lien or something like that to make sure that you're getting paid, you want to get to the front of the line right there. So if you're the last person to take action, you're probably going to be the last person to get paid, or maybe not even get paid at all. It also covers things like, again, I think I mentioned before, bankruptcies. That's another one that I was speaking with a customer with just the other day, because they had got a notification that a company they were dealing with was filing for bankruptcy. Okay, that's pretty crazy. So obviously they started communicating with that contractor they were working with. They actually secured their payment, which was great, before the company fully filed for bankruptcy and whatnot. So again, it's information to help you kind of get out ahead of everything. So trying to be mindful of everyone's time here today, to make sure that we get you out at 1:30. So want to kind of quickly condense all that information for you again. So again, you're going to get the email here tomorrow with all that information and this recording. And feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions at all. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you're protecting your lien rights, you're protecting your company and whatnot, and you're getting paid what you earn on time and within your terms. Thank you for joining us today. And again, appreciate your time.